The Silver Surfer, a man once chosen by Galactus to serve as his herald, leading him to worlds destined for destruction. Burdened by the guilt of countless lives lost, he eventually arrived on Earth and discovered a different path, one where his immense power could be used for good. He saw how many lives he could save across the galaxy, striving to atone for the devastation he once caused. And yet, after everything he's done, even he must one day face his end. That was kind of a bummer, so let me actually run that back. In honor of the Fantastic Four First Steps releasing this week, I wanted to talk about a story featuring the Silver Surfer, a character deeply tied to the Fantastic Four, and also making an appearance in the new movie. And yeah, I know it's Shia LaBeouf, not Norrin Rad, but hey, Shia LaBeouf is in this comic, so it still counts. Anyways, the comic I want to talk about is Silver Surfer Requiem by Michael J. Straczynski and Esad Ribic. A beautifully written and drawn story of the Silver Surfer's last adventure. And that is pretty much all I want to say, to not give away too much, because I think I already pretty much did. So enough tiptoeing around, and let's just jump into it. Alright, hold up, let me get ready for my best comic story and impression. Alright, we begin with Norrin Rad floating in space, reflecting on all he's seen, more than any being could hope to witness in 100 lifetimes. He speaks about life and death and how our legacy lives on to those who remember us. Back on Earth, in New York City, the Fantastic Four are doing their usual thing. Reed and Ben working in the lab, while Johnny relaxes and reads the news. Their day is interrupted when Norrin suddenly appears, asking to speak with Reed and Sue alone. We don't hear what's said, but it's clearly serious as Sue spends the day crying and Reed becomes completely absorbed in his work. Sue begs him to do something, anything to help Norrin, but Reed, despite repeated testing, keeps getting the same results. He pushes for one final attempt, determined to try everything he can, even if it means putting Norrin through excruciating pain. And in the end, the test fails. Reed is left frustrated and heartbroken. He can't save his friend. This leads into Norrin's origin, how he became the Silver Surfer. He confesses his fear, not for himself, but for Zenla, his home world. He recalls witnessing the arrival of Galactus and doing everything in his power to stop him. Norrin pleaded for Zenla's safety, offering himself in exchange and suggesting Galactus target uninhabited worlds instead. But Galactus replied that the universe was too vast to be selective. He would devour whatever he found. And so, Norrin Rad sacrificed himself, becoming the Herald of Galactus. Transformed and reborn, his memories wiped, Norrin led Galactus to countless worlds, inhabited or not, assisting in the destruction of civilizations, until he arrived at Earth. There, he met the Fantastic Four, and for the first time he witnessed the indomitable human spirit as they stood up to Galactus without fear, and in doing so they awakened something in the Surfer. A spark of who Norrin Rad once was, he turned against Galactus, helping Earth's heroes defeat him, restoring a little of the mortal Norrin Rad to the Silver Surfer. He then turned against Galactus, helping Earth's heroes defeat him. Since then, Norrin has traveled the galaxy, bringing peace and trying to atone for his past. He regrets nothing, because it gave his life purpose. With there being nothing left to do, Norrin says goodbye to his friends, as he plans to spend the little time he has left going back home, as well as saying goodbye to Earth, in addition to doing as much good as he can on this journey. He thanks Reed for the help, as well as allowing him to be true to himself all these years. Reed finally reveals the truth to Johnny and Ben, that Norrin is dying. The material that coats his body is deteriorating, and with it, his internal systems are shutting down. Within a month, he will die, painfully, and yet Norrin accepts this, telling Reed that a month is longer than some insects get to live. He thanks him and disappears into the sky, reflecting once more on all he's seen, and all he's about to lose. Down in the city, Peter Parker is shopping for MJ's birthday when chaos strikes. A guy in a stolen mech suit starts tearing things up. Peter leaps into action, but before he can finish, the Silver Surfer appears and takes the criminal down himself. Then, without a word, he flies off. Confused, Peter follows as he tries to talk to Norrin and try and celebrate his heroic act. But something is clearly wrong, as Peter presses him and eventually Norrin decides to open up. He reveals to Peter that this is his last time on Earth and that he wants to leave a final gift to humanity, but he just doesn't know what that gift should be. He feels as Earth has given him so much and it has become his adopted home, but there are so many conflicts, so many problems, and his power alone can't fix it all. So Peter throws out a few ideas, but quickly sees the flaw in each one. Unable to come up with one, he decides to ask Norrin instead about his board. in which Norrin responds by describing how he travels the cosmos, experiences things beyond imagination. Peter in awe says how it sounds all incredible, which gives Norrin an idea. He offers Peter a portion of the power cosmic to experience it for himself. Peter declines as he says he has other things to do, giving him the best idea, as he returns with MJ and tells her to take the trip as a gift instead. And so, MJ, hesitant, decides to go only to return overwhelmed. She says she's never felt so free and that it would take days to explain what she's experienced. She thanks Peter for the gift, and Peter thanks Norrin by giving him the answer to his earlier question. His gift being to allow the world to feel what he feels for 5 minutes, allowing the people around to see what Norrin sees, especially how he sees the world, its beauty, its peace, and its freedom. And so, Norrin does just that. For 5 minutes, he allows the world to feel what he feels, to witness it all, to experience the vastness of the cosmos through his own eyes. Afterwards, exhausted, he thanks Peter, since he says he's finally at peace. The two say farewell for the last time. Norrin continues his journey, traveling the world and admiring Earth's beauty. Eventually, he's visited by Doctor Strange, who heard all about his condition from Reed. Strange, along with others, gives Norrin a flame of knowledge, the flame containing all the knowledge of the world, as a symbol of how much Norrin has preserved and protected. Norrin thanks him, then flies off once again, saying the stars look beautiful tonight. For the next 8 days, he rides the cosmic tides, trying to make his way home to Zen-La. But along the way, he hears someone calling out to him. It's a war, a brutal, long-standing conflict between two races, led by Phil and Takal. Or at least I think that's how you say their name. I'm not completely sure. I'm not really good with names. Apologies. But anyways, this war has lasted 50 generations, all over religious shrines and opposing beliefs. Each side believing the other must be destroyed. All while their leaders live in comfort, while generations of followers fight and die for a cause they barely understand. In addition to the ongoing war, each side has added on to their respective shrines to represent a side more holy than the other. All of this, of course, ludicrous as Norrin asks the leaders why everyone else is at war while the two of them sit in comfort, seeing all the destruction and death that occurs around them. The response being that that is why they fight, so the leaders can live comfortably. Baffled, Norrin asks why they called them. One of the leaders says to make Norrin decide. As the previous Herald of Galactus, he must now choose which side is right and which is wrong, to finally put an end to the war, as both sides are evenly matched. Norrin obviously can't choose as he sees no difference between them, and so the leaders send him away, being in no rush to end the war. As Norrin is about to leave, he turns to see how awful war is, and finally intervenes, thus ending the sacred war by taking the weapons away from both sides, during which he is hurt by the sides fighting back due to how weak he's becoming. But through it all, Norrin never stops fighting, destroying the weapons as well as the shrines to prove that neither side was more holy. Instead, proving that war is bad, and giving this awesome line which I really like. If sacred places are spared the ravages of war, then make all places sacred. And if the holy people are to be kept harmless from war, then make all people holy. So good, man. Teaching these sides an important lesson as well as freeing them from what they believed was true, bringing peace and inspiring the people to build a statue that would commemorate his actions long after he was gone from the mortal world. At last, Norrin Radd returns to Zen-La, his energy nearly gone as he crashes onto his homeworld and awakens to the face of his love, Shala Bal. Shala, heartbroken, begs for a way to save him, but Norrin tells her it's too late. He has no regrets, as every moment he spent living for her was worth it, and that seeing her right now brings him joy and comfort in his last moments. For days, Norrin remained in Zen-La, with people around the planet coming to say goodbye, as well as to thank the hero for saving their planet and allowing future generations to prosper, during which they discover the Mark of Norrin, a trap that came from him and would later be used to remind the people of Zen-La the peace he brought them when they experience anger, rage, or violence. But before Norrin can finally rest, he senses Galactus arriving, calling to his herald for one last time. He believes he is here to finally finish the job, and says he will try and stop him. But then it is revealed that Galactus has only come by to say goodbye to his herald, flying him up and saying he will try to save him. But Norrin refuses, as he believes his time has come. Galactus accepts his dying wish, as well as promising him that he won't hurt Zen-La or allow others to harm it. And for once, after spending so much time with Galactus, Norrin finally gets to see him grieve. For as Norrin's time has finally come, Shala Bal asks Galactus for a final favor, to honor her love by birthing him into a new star, so that he can rest in space upon the other stars. And so he does, birthing a new star positioned on the dark side of Zenla, to cast a glow in the night that would remind the world of all his sacrifices. A star seen all around the galaxy with all different stories behind it. And with that being the end of Norrin Red, honoring the gift that was his life, it is revealed that the Watcher was the one narrating his entire journey. A friend, watching from afar, mourning the loss of one of the universe's greatest souls. And that is Silver Surfer Requiem by JMS. Just overall a fantastic book and a really fun read, especially to explore the Silver Surfer's last adventure. The story is just great and it really shows how great of a character Silver Surfer is, standing apart from the Fantastic Four. The story being about Norrin Red and the effectiveness of how much Silver Surfer has been able to move away from just being the Herald of Galactus to a symbol of peace, especially around the galaxy. But if you would like to read another story, I highly recommend checking out Silver Surfer Black, a pretty weird, awesome book that I wanted to include in this video, but I felt deserved to be read on its own, since a lot happens that you should just experience on your own. The art is pretty funky, and the Silver Surfer does a lot of cool stuff while facing Null, the god of symbiotes. Anyways, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time when I decide to upload.